Giving it a few seconds to catch up. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Vega here for SerpentX Tech. I am streaming this live because this is a conversation that's happening in real time with Yeti regarding SRBminer, Dynex. You know the situation. If you're not up to speed already, I got a technical breakdown on the channel. However, Son of a Tech did a really good job as well breaking it down. So many of the crypto community have already discussed or talked about what's going on, but I'm going to break it down a little bit further for you. Just in layman's term, the SRBminer, and you can see right now on screen, Yeti is in the bottom right, and I am in the top right. So he can't see my screen, but I am showing you my miner, which has a 7900 XTX and a 3070 Ti. You can see the chips allocated for the 7900 XTX was 1248 for the 7900 XTX. However, right now, in real time, the hash rate that miner was once getting, which was around 10,000 kilohash, almost 11,000, or 11, not 10,000, excuse me, 10 kilohash or 11 kilohash, has now dropped pretty darn far to like 2,400 hashes or 2.4 kilohash. So there's a significant drop in hash rate that you may have already seen if you were mining with SRBminer. And there's a reason for this, and I just wanted to make you aware. But in short, what happened? Well, the SRBminer dev was able to manipulate, right? Their, I don't know if I want to say kernels. It's not kernels. It was at the memory, right? It was.
So what he was doing is the mechanism that generates the Dynex chips, right? He had a variable that allowed him to actually have two variables: what you see on screen and what is the true number of chips.
Right. And so that was what was that, XMM?
Yeah.
Right. So by manipulating the chips, I think it was only showing, it would show you the amount of chips that you should have, but it was only showing 40%, or only 40% was actually being processed. And long story short, what does that mean? Well, you were making more Dynex because your hash rate was increased, but also the dev was making a subsequent amount of Dynex through the dev fee, so on and so forth. So what happened, and we'll talk to Yeti here in just a second about that, is a proposal. And I want you to think of it kind of like an EIP, right? You have a proposal for a fix or maybe a resolution or an upgrade. You submit that and you go from there. Now, Yeti.uk, the website that Yeti runs and I help with, is an auditing website. And we like to look at things and we like to call out things that are scams or maybe not doing right by the end user, you, the end miner. And Yeti submitted a proposal that the Dynex team obviously implemented, because now my hash rate has dropped from about 10 kilohash to 2.4 kilohash. And I know that's going to upset some of you, but Yeti, you go ahead and take over, and I'll add in little jabs here and there.
Of course. So the proposal was, there were three options as part of the proposal. Option one was to leave the status quo, right? Continue to let the SRBminer dev reap the rewards and fees of an artificially inflated hash rate. To me, personally, that was probably the worst option to choose, right? So the two options left were option two, to effectively just block the cheat mechanism from running, right? And I'll go into detail in a minute of how they've done that. And then option three, which nobody wanted, right? This would have been disastrous, was to effectively just terminate SRB, which would have gone against their announcement anyway that they released yesterday to say that their planned transitional phase to remove SRB from their network, that phase transition would have been like this short and not really an ideal solution. So what I was getting at about their choice, they chose option two. Then it was a case of how do we achieve
that,
right? From my proposal, how do we achieve that, what that proposal does, and make sure that it works? Now, obviously, the fact that I dug around allowed me to realize that SRB had two kernels, one for the SAT solving system and one for machine learning. So I proposed to them an alternative option that would effectively just stop the cheat by flipping the kernel that SRB is using over to their machine learning kernel, which obviously is properly set to 95% and 5% in POUW versus POW, right? Which is why everyone's hash rate took an absolute plummet. Because now you're actually doing the proof of useful work correctly, and therefore you're seeing it suffer the other side, which it should be the case from the offset, not, you know, so many versions in.
So, in summary, because I don't want to dig too deep into live stream, because my buddy Chump Change is doing a really good live stream with the Locotech devs. Rabbit Mining is live right now. But this information was super important because everybody's going to look at their miners and be like, what the hell? My hash rate just dropped drastically. Now, if I were to switch, if you're looking at my screen right now, my Nvidia GPU also dropped, but that's because I'm on SRBminer. If I were to switch it to 10miner or a miner that supports Nvidia and Dynex, I would go back to where I was or close to what I was. I know SRB gave us that extra hash rate, but there's kind of a cost for it. So unfortunately, it had to be done. It was done. Now it's just a matter of time. Now AIM
to you earlier, right? I'm a miner, but I'm also a developer, right? I can see both sides of this argument. As a miner, obviously this is horrible, right? You're losing the ability to run your AMD cards temporarily. I mean, you're not completely losing it, but they're just not profitable right now.
Right.
So I can understand people wanting to switch algos to something different temporarily. And when obviously a new AMD miner comes out, then they can switch back over if they choose to.
And there are AMD miners in the works. Be patient.
Correct.
I know you want something right now, but be patient. Finish what you were saying.
Yeah. Actually on that little topic, I can say that the one of the devs saw what happened today. And in the dev channel, actually said that he's focusing getting his AMD side out first. So to basically bridge the gap, shall we say, between the miners.
And not all of these devs do this full time. This is something they're doing on their side, like Yeti and myself. This is something that we do on the side to help the community or to have a positive impact on the community. So when you see stuff like this, you know, you can report it to yeti.uk. And, you know, obviously there would be an investigation done and possible audit done, and then it will get addressed or as soon as possible. But yeah, this was called out, and in 24 hours, I would say it's sort of been addressed. SRBminer is still functioning on Dynex. We'll cross that bridge later. Other AMD miners will come. But it's just a sad situation. I understand the greed side of it, right? I understand if there's an opportunity there, you know, you take advantage of it. You know, when I hack a company or a network, it's not really my fault that they got hacked. It's the company's fault they got hacked. I understand that, you know, because they should have had better redundancies, firewall protections, network security, whatever it is. But at the same time, you know, crypto, in my opinion, was founded by a bunch of people that had a common interest, wanted to get away from the financial system or traditional financial system. And it was kind of like this camaraderie slash, you know, community where we help one another out to prosper, and it's turned into all about profit. And I understand that. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, mine to make a profit, cash out, pay your bills, whatever. I completely understand. Pay your overhead. But, you know, it just, unfortunately, the dark side is greed. And greed is everywhere. It's not just in the crypto system or crypto ecosystem, but it's in the financial system, the economic system, so on and so forth. So we're going to continue to see this. And Son of a Tech's point of Dynex should be a test net still, I understand that. And I agree with that. But at the same time, you can't really push a network. You can't find out the limits of your network unless you open it up to the general populace, the general public, because you need all those miners to really push things hard. to find out what the limits of your system or your overall machine learning system is. But there's SATs and there's machine learning. Now SRBminer is on machine learning only, correct?
Correct.
That's why my hash
Actually,
rate is
stat solving for the moment until mallobless mining has started has currently been suspended. Dynex put out an announcement today that they had spoke to their client who was running that stat solving job, and they agreed that they did not want incorrect and inconsistent data. So they were happy to suspend it until mallobless mining because it's right round the corner.
Okay. Well, let's summarize real quick because again, I want everybody to get over to Chump Change's live stream and redirect.
Absolutely.
SRBminer dev found a way that they could incrementally increase everybody's hash rate, but also wind up increasing everybody's profitability, including their own. They were found out. A patch has been proposed and implemented. Now your hash rates for your GPUs on SRBminer took a drastic hit. However, try 10miner or other miners that are supported. AMD miners are coming in the future. Bear with the Dynex team. I understand there's a lot of people in various chats that will call Dynex a scam. I understand everybody's viewpoints, but as an objective individual, we have yet to see the full breadth of what Dynex can do. Proof of use of work, in my opinion, is still brand new. And I haven't seen too many, and I know Flex has been working on it, but I haven't been able to see the back end or the actual implementation of proof of use of work in a public setting yet from other individuals. And I know other projects might pop up because of this, but Dynex is kind of leading the way in uncharted waters, and there's going to be things you hit along the way. So while I don't say, put all your eggs in one basket, go all in on Dynex, mine it, buy it, I'm not saying that, but this is a product that I'm intrigued by, and I'm intrigued to see what builds up as they continue to move forward. So we shall see how things go. I know this is the second time. It technically feels like a memory. What was the first time? What do we call that? That was a memory exploit?
That was a full-on memory exploit. That was very different in how it was deployed. What this is more the miner dev making the problem rather than somebody finding a way to actually, exploit the code itself. In essence, the miner dev was doing it.
Got you. And I think you mentioned it offline, so let's make it clear here. People in the live chat yesterday for other content creators were saying that 10miner is doing it too, but you stated that you were able to dig into it.
Yes. And Dynex was kind enough to supply me access to their logs again so that I could verify 10miner, because obviously they were now concerned by finding one that they might find another. So what they did was open up the logs again and allowed me to audit what 10miner was doing. And everything looks fine. All the numbers are coming back accurately. The machine learning codes and the binary files are all coming back correctly with the correct checksums and everything. So my feeling is that 10miner's advantage is probably around the fact that his is only CUDA. It's a CUDA-based kernel instead of based on OpenCL.
Yeah. Okay. So 10miner should be fine according to the data. Obviously, miner devs do have an incentive, right? Because they're making money off the dev fee to exploit XYZ project. Are they doing it on more? We don't have the answer to. But as far as Dynex goes and 10miner, that's good. You can just switch your Nvidia GPUs to that. You're fine. AMD GPUs just got to wait for a new miner to come out. We'll see how things go. And then last thing I want to say is this wouldn't have been possible, in my opinion, if the network was 100% decentralized. Would you agree with that statement? Would you have been able to reverse engineer the miner without that data if it was a decentralized ecosystem? That's a tough one.
I probably could have, but it would have made it a lot harder to prove what was actually going on. The ability to tie logs from miner side and server side where it's receiving that data obviously made it a lot easier to diagnose what was going on and to target certain options that would allow, you know, me to figure out what was going on.
Gotcha.
Now,
Well,
there is one thing I will add to that.
what?
So Dynex's AMA is on the 17th. I have requested, well, actually, I've urgently marked it for them that they need to address this whole situation in their AMA before they even start anything else, ideally. This needs to obviously come from them rather than, you know, us.
Yeah.
That would make a lot of miners probably a little bit more understanding of what's gone on. And I will make sure that from my perspective as their, you know, their auditor and some oversight to make sure that they don't miss the ball of explaining this a little bit more.
Okay. Well, Son of a Tech did beat on that drum, and rightfully so, that Dynex, you know, is very centralized. But to counter to that, and this is just my opinion, and it could be wrong, if we had it so decentralized that in the future, we're talking years in the future, when Dynex is finalized and everything is going and companies are coming in to reach out to them and have jobs worked, right? So machine learning jobs. Hey, I want you to work on this. How do you stop if you're decentralized? How would you be able to stop a bad actor from using the system in a bad way? We wouldn't be able to. So
No.
in my opinion, and again, this is just my opinion, Dynex being centralized is actually a good thing. Not everything in crypto needs to be decentralized. While decentralization is important for crypto and is what the crypto and Bitcoin specifically was founded upon, in this case, and the application that Dynex is trying to be used in, centralization is important because it can help mitigate those attack vectors or people misusing the system for the wrong things or for the wrong project. So we'll just have to see. Again, this is uncharted waters for Dynex. All I know is I appreciate Doctor. I said this 100 times already. I appreciate Doctor for the years of contribution that they have to the crypto community. You can mine other cryptocurrencies with their miners. No problem. I'm disappointed, but you know, greed gets the best of us sometimes, and Doctor already admitted to that. Your hash rates took a huge hit on AMD specifically, and a little bit on Nvidia. Just switch to a different miner that's supported. AMD miners or alternative miners are coming in the future for Dynex. And stay tuned to the channel and Yeti.uk, right? Yeti.uk, as I mentioned 102 times, is an auditing website. Miners have been audited there. Smart contracts is being continuously worked on. And we got more and more updates coming to you. This is a collab effort between Yeti and a little bit from myself. And we just want to help the community. If we see something that's crap, if we see somebody doing bad, we're going to call it out. We're going to make you aware of it. And that's what we're doing here. But we're also bringing you an update because this just got announced yesterday by Dynex. And then the content creators provided additional updates regarding what SRBminer dev was doing with their miner. You know, the profits and the increased hash rate. Now we're seeing the actual hash rate of SRBminer on machine learning. Or on Dynex, and we just unfortunately took a hit. So any closing thoughts before we send everybody over to Chump Change?
Other than obviously, like I said to you off camera, like my proposals obviously had a big impact. It was never my intention to harm miners and what they're doing, right? My proposals were there to offer suggestions of a path for them to take, right? Now, they may have took this path already themselves, had I not even mentioned suggestions. However, they, by the looks of it, took my suggestion on board, looked and weighed up all the options. And as for a transitional phase, this made the most logical sense, I think, to not ban SRB off the network, right? To actually allow them a phase transition. So as a new miner comes online, we'll be able to utilize that miner on pools, and that should solve the AMD conundrum.
Well, now that the hash rate is decreased on SRBminer, which is the most popular miner on Dynex, theoretically, the hash rate, the network hash rate should reduce, and thus reducing the network difficulty. So then things should, over time, balance out, theoretically, as the net hash and difficulty climb down to where it really should be. Obviously, there might be some impacts across the board, but it's going to be, in my opinion, a positive. Because here's the thing for some of my football players out there: if Michigan University really was cheating, why would the organization that controls, the football colleges, why would they let Michigan continue to do their thing? They wouldn't. If you're caught cheating, whatever ecosystem or political party or group or company that you're a part of should ethically stop you from cheating. Should. That doesn't always happen, but they should. So this is the fair choice, but it has an impact on you, the end user, the miner, thus reducing your profitability on mining Dynex. And yeah, you can just switch to a different cryptocurrency, but I want to see how Dynex can impact the world as we move into this world of machine learning, AI, so on and so forth, because that's where the world is headed. And Dynex, again, is going into this not blind, but with a clear understanding, a clear goal, and then people are just throwing sticks in their spokes, trying to slow them down. So I know there's always seems like there's something new with Dynex. I wouldn't put the blame on Dynex for this one. But I understand, again, like I said earlier, if I hack the network of a company, it's really the company's fault, not my fault. Now, I'm liable, and I will probably get, if I'm silly enough to leave my footprints of what I did, then I will obviously go to jail. But it's really the company's fault that allowed it to happen. Dynex finds a situation, and they work to fix it. Dynex finds a situation, they work to fix it. And projects like this that work with independent educators or consultants like Yeti and myself is good for the ecosystem. Because when you have these projects that remain anonymous, that do have bad actors in them, but then when you call them out, do nothing, that's not a healthy ecosystem. This is how we keep the ecosystem in check, is we challenge the status quo, we get them to come to the table, we propose solutions, and we get them to fix it. If they don't want to fix it, then that's not an ecosystem that we should be a part of. So at least Dynex is taking the steps to try to fix and resolve issues as they come. I know there's been multiple issues over the course of a year, but this is what happens when you go into new territory, uncharted waters. So that's pretty much all we got for you. I'm going to let Yeti say any last minute thoughts. And then again, I'm so sorry for overlapping.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think you hit the nail on the head right there, is that, this is so new. There's nothing to reference to give them guides here, right? This stuff is so cutting edge that there's bound to be hiccups and bumps along the road. Right. It's how they deal with those that will determine how well the project does long term. And so far, every time they've been met with a challenge, they seem to overcome that challenge and move the needle a little bit more. So let's hope with the right people around them, the miners coming online, the new mallobless mining in essence, pushing how tight POW and POUW work together. I mean, there's a lot coming, and the AMA will explain in depth what's coming. So definitely watch out for that.
Well, I think it's in 6-7 days, you said?
17th.
The 17th. Okay, so the 17th. So that's next week's. That's before.
It will be on Chump's channel live.
Channel? Okay.
Yes.
Well, he's doing a great interview. He's doing a great live stream right now, and I'm messing it up. So let me get you guys over there.
We should definitely head over there, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you guys over there right now. You have a wonderful day. Comment down below, and thank you so much for stopping by. I just wanted to make sure that you were aware, so when you look at your hash rate, you're not like, what the hell happened? Now you know what happened. A proposal was implemented. Your hash rate has been reduced on SRBminer. Switch to another supported miner, and you'll be fine. AMD miners are coming soon. See you guys in the next one. Hit the like button on the way out. Make sure to get subscribed. Hit notification bell to stay up to date, and check out additional links in the channel description or the video description that helps support us and what we do here. And I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.